Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Aquarius moon signs, or if you have significant Aquarius placements in your chart and are needing a feminine energy to work with or balance within yourself, then this reading is for you. Aquarius. That's so weird. As soon as I turn the camera on, I feel like that's your energy. It's like seeing something amusing about a certain situation, perhaps. It's kind of coming through like this, Aquarius. This is just sort of like an intuitive message where I feel like there's something here about like you have perhaps left a situation and it's kind of like in the past, and it's like you're getting a new perspective on that past energy and perhaps seeing it with a bit more humor is how it's coming through. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. We'll see how that comes into the reading, but let's start with an overall energy for you, Aquarius. I'm using this intuition oracle. What's Aquarius's overall energy? Ooh. The Seeker. I seek new friends and experiences to expand my awareness. Interesting. Number 21. So that is kind of coming through as being like, I feel like you are seeking something new. Perhaps because you've shifted out of like a past energy that maybe was perhaps there was hurt or pain or I don't know, something like that where it's like, but you're perhaps getting a new perspective on it. So what is Aquarius being asked to shift into? The Inspiration. I allow inspiration to fill me so I can inspire others. Number 46. Interesting. So you're being asked to be and you also have the Experimenter that came out. I am strong and secure enough to experiment as I see fit. Interesting. Number 23. Which is double. Like the numbers are doubling, right? You have 23 and 46. I sometimes see this Experimenter as being a Sagittarius energy. So that might be important to you. That might also be bringing in the 9th house, right? Exploration. Exploration in the Seeker energy. You're seeking some sort of new experience, and I feel like seeking something, right? It means you haven't quite found it yet is kind of how it's coming through. Maybe you have, but there is sort of this energy here of like experimenting or playing with it, whatever this new energy is. Or like, it's like if you're meeting new people, for example, new friends and experiences, it's kind of like getting to know the new friends or experiences. It can be kind of awkward at the beginning is kind of how it's coming through. But the guidance is to just look at it as being a bit more playful, if that makes sense. Because the awkwardness might be coming from a self-consciousness energy rather than sort of just like if you're a child just meeting people, right? Like meeting new people, there's no reason to be self-conscious is how it's coming through. Anyways, at the bottom of the deck you have the Romantics, number 29. I allow romance to touch my heart every day. That's really lovely for you, Aquarius. So, you're seeking new experiences, the experimenter, and the inspiration. That's the energy that you're being asked to shift into. So perhaps you're going to be experimenting with new experiences. And it is perhaps also like inspiring other people. Or that you're also just going to be inspired in some way. Because it is a doubling energy, right? Going from 23 to 46. It is going to be very expansive. Oh, the shaman. I have to read that one. Interesting. So maybe you're seeking some sort of spiritual experience. Interesting. The Magi, the Sorcerer, the Medicine Woman. 3 archetypal ingredients constitute the shaman, and all must be present in order to reveal its magic. First, the shaman is activated by long-standing and diligent study, which is the mentor. Second, its orientation is generously and accurately aimed towards the healing of the self, the other, and the culture, which is the healer archetype. The third, the shaman has a knack for finding doorways to the other world, allowing psychic visions and old magic to leak into this world, which is the archetype of the unseen. In this way, the shaman is a master who bridges the everyday and the sacred, revealing potent power needed desperately in our time. Yet where there is power, there is shadow, so the shaman must be vigilant in studying their darkness. This card reminds us that the force of healing is ultimately not our own. We must shape it and share it with the world. Okay. The shaman can't be rushed. Working with this archetype requires study and perseverance. Think of it like brining or marinating. The content must permeate every fiber of its being. So the shaman archetype appears in every vocation. Teachers, directors, surgeons, politicians, and poets are just a few of the faces a shaman may wear. Okay, Aquarius, that is sort of your energy right now, is how it's coming through. Overall energy right now, you're in the shaman energy, which is really powerful. So maybe you're practicing some sort of healing energy and sharing that with the world or your community or however that plays out for you, right? It doesn't matter what your career is the message coming through. It's like you're in the shaman energy within that field, whatever that is for you. That's really interesting. But perhaps you are seeking new experiences within that. I'm getting kind of like this energy of Cupid here as well. Especially with the romantics as the overall, or as the bottom of the deck. Maybe you're playing Cupid for somebody. Maybe you're like matchmaking or something like that, Aquarius. Like, that's interesting. Okay. More cards. Experimenter and inspiration. It's like maybe you're trying to bring 2 people together, or maybe that's happening for you. The Temple and the Judge. Interesting. Okay, so the temple to me talks about like a sacred place that you go to for connection. Interesting. So maybe maybe there is like a certain location that you're going to, or let's see what it says. I'm not going to read the whole description. I just want to see what is sticking out. So it's not about a specific location. It's actually bringing it closer to home is how it's coming through. The temple is not about a physical location. It's a vibration that you're in is kind of how it's coming through. This card is a call to re-examine what you pay homage to and what you reject. What do you spend your time worshipping? Your money, phone, material goods? What barriers do you draw between yourself and the sacred? Perhaps there is room on your altar for something new, something surprising. Offer it to the heavens. Interesting. Because you are experimenting with that is how it's coming through, or you're being asked to. Like, so maybe there's something about what you've been worshipping, quote unquote, or like what you consider to be sacred that perhaps is going through some sort of like experimentation process, like trying to figure out perhaps what I want to bring it away from the word worship, because that feels too much like religious in my opinion. So I like the word sacred though. I feel like that's something that is, or like what is it that you just put a lot of energy into building and maintaining is how it's coming through. So perhaps you're experimenting with different practices, or you're learning some sort of new practice, or you're being asked to do that. With the inspiration here and the judge. Just keep doing what you're doing, Aquarius, is what I'm hearing here. Just keep doing what you're doing. I feel like you're already doing something beneficial. The inspiration, the critic, the diplomat, the advocate. The judge has an incredibly important job. They work every waking hour of the day, helping us discern what is safe, true, and just. When this archetype remains unconscious or is captivated by fear, wise discernment turns into painful judgment of self and other. Ironically, the judge's energy can be the seed of racism, bigotry, and fear-mongering. This is the judge out of balance, building walls separating from other. When this same discerning force is made conscious and healed, however, the judge may be found advocating for civil rights causes, standing up for the underdog, providing resources for those in need, and forgiving again and again. Love is the deciding factor. Awakening this archetype is essential for the complex times we are in. Get your judge in order. The world needs it. So I feel like that's what you're being asked to step into, Aquarius, is being sort of like a judge energy that uplifts sort of the underdog, the mystic at the bottom of the deck. There's so much spiritual energy in your reading today. But of course, with the temple, it's kind of bringing in this energy of like bringing it inward, or like in a way that is perhaps more grounded and like, because sometimes in sort of like when we talk about spirituality, it becomes sort of this like untouchable kind of concept, or something that's like so other that it becomes like difficult to grasp, is how it's coming through. So it's kind of feeling like Aquarius, maybe, especially because Aquarius is also like the fixed air sign, right? That very much that energy can be sort of like detached from like the physical things, if that makes sense. It's like being really swayed by, for example, ideas and concepts, and like that's not a bad thing. That's definitely not a bad thing. But I feel like here it is wanting to be grounded in some way. That's just how it's coming through. And with the Mystic as well, this card talks about, the Mystic talks about being able to transform negative experiences into something light. That's what it's coming through with. It could also be some sort of like some sort of gift that is being awakened within you through this process. So the Judge energy is... Okay, there's a lot there. Okay, so first of all, the Libra reading from yesterday might be significant for you, so I'll link it above. It's coming through as being able to distinguish from right or wrong. Perhaps tied to inspiration. I'm also getting the baseball player Aaron Judge. I'm not a Yankees fan, but Aaron Judge. I don't know. There's something about that. It's number 99. I know that. Aaron Judge is one of those players where if you're on the opposite team from them, like if you're playing the Yankees, you never want to see Aaron Judge at bat, right? Because it's like he could do a lot of damage. So it's kind of like me. But he is one of the best players in the league. So I feel like there's something about like maybe that's going to be you, Aquarius, or maybe I don't know. Perhaps it's kind of like you want that person on your team is how it's coming through, but you don't want to face that person. So I don't know how that comes through for you, Aquarius. We're just going to keep pulling cards. I'm just going to leave that like that. It's like something where you don't want that person to be opposing you in some way. That might be you. Tam the poet. That's interesting. So perhaps you are some sort of poet, because there is, or if it's not poet, it's like maybe a writer or something. Or you use your words in whatever way that is. Because you do have the poet, you have the romantics at the bottom of the deck. There's all this like romantic energy coming in because of the Cupid as well. Interesting. Are you playing Cupid for somebody? The Tam the Poet is also an energy that encourages one to not take things so seriously. And it also talks about sort of like waiting until the right time as well. Because sometimes this comes through as being like waiting on the sidelines until it's the right time. But it's like very not serious. It's not serious. So someone this may be you, where it's like maybe you're just waiting to see how something will play out in a very not serious and playful kind of way. It also talks about like if there is some sort of project that you've been putting aside or like waiting for the right time to like start it, it's like it's time to start it. That's what it's coming through with. It does feel like you have some sort of project or inspiration of some sort, whatever that is. But there's all of this spiritual energy that's also like coming through. Like it feels very like practical, or you're doing something very practical, but the underlying energy of that is spiritual. Like you're actually accomplishing some sort of spiritual energy work. The sage. The sage under the experimenter. That's so interesting because the sage talks about like looking at tradition, right? This is such an Aquarius energy. Looking at tradition and then seeing what can be shifted. Because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus, right? So Saturn is about like the tradition, the routine, the things that work, the things that are established, the things that we need to maintain structure and all that. So that's how it's coming through with tradition. With the temple, so maybe there's like some, so it doesn't have to be spiritual related. It could be in your field, whatever that is for you, where it's like it feels like you know what the traditions are, Aquarius, within that field. As an example, you know what the traditions are, you know the tried and true methods, you know what works, but you're also experimenting with something new and different, which is a Uranus energy, which is like new ideas or learning something. Tradition is valued, but appropriate change is accepted. The sage knows when to let go and when to move on. He knows when to retreat and think things over. He compassionately and wisely shares his knowledge with others, teaching by example as well as by precept. The scales of justice are balanced in the sage's hands. This card in a reading also signifies the need for deep consideration and refined judgment applied with compassion and mercy. That's what I'm saying. You're playing the energy of like a judge in some way. Could be like an Aaron judge, but I don't know. It's coming through as playful. Like it's kind of like, don't take this too seriously, Aquarius. Don't take it too seriously. Because if you do, it feels kind of like it would be something would be lost, is just how it's coming through. Singer of Connection. And the Maiden at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. So some sort of new beginning. Perhaps significant connection. Like there are, if you have been seeking new experiences or new connections, that is absolutely coming in for you. And I feel like there's something about like, whether or not this is your intention or not, it's coming through as being like there is something that you are going to be teaching or showing or balancing as well with the judge, or like uplifting others, or you know, whatever it is, helping your team win, or however that wants to come through. So the Singer of Connection is unifying and reunifying. It tells us that we need to be aware of the connections between different aspects of the issue under discussion, as well as the connections between the people linked by it. We also may need to build more connections, a network of mutual support. The presence of the Singer of Connection in a reading indicates support and strength flowing through the connections between those involved. Interesting. So yeah, lots of connections coming up for you. Okay, I'm going to pull tarot. I haven't pulled a deck out yet because recently, the last couple of readings, every time I pull a deck out for tarot, it wants to be a different one. So I just thought I would wait. Okay, it's the Fountain. Now comes the tricky part of making sure I don't spill anything. Okay. Okay, Aquarius. So the Maiden also talks about like a very auspicious new beginning. The word auspicious to me always sounds like suspicious, but it's not. It means something very different. It's like lucky and blessed is how it's coming through. King of Swords, that's you. That is you. The King of Swords, Aquarius. Okay, King of Swords can be quite serious, right? So it is coming through again with being more playful about it, or it's like, it's okay to be serious, but also know that, like, play to your strengths is just what I'm gonna say with that. Play to your strengths. And it's also okay to laugh at yourself once in a while. That's sort of how it's coming through. Eight of Cups and Ace of Wands. So it does feel like you are walking away from something that's not satisfying, or leaving something behind, but in search of some sort of like either new inspiration with the Ace of Wands, or like perhaps there's a new passion that you're pursuing, or something that is it wants to, okay, let's find a different word for worship, if that, because that's not personally resonating for me. Where it's like maybe something that you are putting into practice, like it could be like a devotion energy, right? Like, or like a routine that you have, perhaps. Let's use the word practice. That feels better. So maybe there is some sort of new practice that is going to be taking up a bit of your time, is how it's coming through. And it's kind of like maybe you need to experiment with it or play around with the how it works, or like what again with the Sage, it's like learning. It's like if you get a new car, for example, right? You want to know where all the buttons are, and like like how do you turn on the wipers, for example, where all the signals, like that kind of thing. So it could be like you're there's some sort of new energy that you're experimenting with. But why is the Eight of Cups here? What is it that you're leaving behind? Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. That could be with the Tam the Poet, because this card talks about sort of like being on the sidelines. So it could be something about like a watching from the distance kind of energy. Maybe that's what you're leaving behind. Like, instead of sitting on the sidelines, you're going to go out and explore something. Why is Aquarius sitting on the sidelines? Well, you have the Six of Swords coming up next. So you're moving forward. Interesting. What? Okay, I'm not going to go into the Seven of Swords. It feels like to me you know what that is, Aquarius, within you already. I don't need to know that. That's sort of like, that's sort of your energy that you are perhaps, it's showing me that you're making a progression into that. So like you've already dealt with it. You know that that's not satisfying to you. You're going to move forward, right? That's sort of what's coming through with. So let's focus on the future or moving forward. Okay. Strength and the Six of Cups. So you have Six of Cups under the Singer of Connection. So that could talk about sort of like perhaps. So the Six of Cups to me represents all sort of soulmates in general. It's not just like romantic soulmates, or like it could be family, friends, community, anyone who has a significant impact on your life, who like you connect with in that way. That's sort of what the Six of Cups represents to me. This one is sort of coming through with like a past life. So maybe you're meeting somebody who you've shared a past life with. The Strength card, which is interesting because this is Leo energy, which just is talking to me about like they are opposite you in some way. Like they're different from you, not in a bad way though. I feel like it's you want this person on your team is how it's coming through. You want this person on your team for sure. Okay, the Emperor. Because this card talks, so a lot of fire in your reading so far. This talks to me about like some sort of structure again. So there is all of that energy where it's like maybe maybe you're building some sort of structure to support something, like learning the rules of how a certain structure works, or like how to sustain something. I also see that it's also coming through as being like, again, if you want to imagine, like, if you have like an altar of some sort. Not a fan of that word either. what is it that you value and place like special attention to, or like what do you revere is how it's coming through. It could also be a person. If it's not a specific person, it could also be just like a type of person, right? Like what personality traits or what type of characteristics does a person have that you perhaps look up to or idolize here with the Emperor, especially with the romantics as well. Like maybe there is this energy here of like romanticizing in a conscious way, right? We're not like daydream floating away here, but it's like in a conscious way, like what are the traits in somebody that you admire or that you look up to or whatever. So that's how it's sort of how it's coming through, because that's sort of the tradition that you would be building on. But also, I want to say that you're also going to be bringing in some unique aspect of like what you are good at or like what sets you apart, Aquarius, as being sort of like, again, like an inspiration, right? Or that you're being inspired by someone who perhaps has sort of like different strengths than you. Interesting. Okay, so you have the Ace of Cups and the Three of Pentacles, but the Three of Pentacles came out like this, upside down. Because sometimes this Three of Pentacles kind of comes through as being like, it's a collaboration, but one where it's kind of like all of the weight is actually being put on you in some way. So it's coming out reversed because I feel like it's kind of like, especially with the Emperor, right? Like the way that they're sort of holding things up. Maybe there's a shift here about like, perhaps maybe you're supporting, hold on. So Ace of Cups, really positive energy. Sometimes this Three of Coins, so normally I see the Three of Coins as being sort of like, is from this deck especially, where it's like you have support, like you're doing sort of the heavy lifting, but you have support. So maybe there's a situation where you felt like you weren't supported, but that's changing because you have the Ace of Cups. Maybe you were doing the heavy lifting in a situation. Eight of Wands. All this forward momentum. It's like you're not looking back, Aquarius. Maybe you are looking back, but with sort of like an understanding that you got out of a situation that was not balanced, is kind of how it's coming through. So it's like you're moving forward with the intention of like harmonious relationships, or that there would be sort of like your strengths are appreciated. Yeah, Three of Swords in reverse. So that is telling me that like the Three of Coins in reverse ended in a Three of Swords, right? It's like it was not a collaboration, is how that's feeling to me. Maybe there was sort of like scapegoating happening. Like if anything went wrong, you were the scapegoat, or like they dumped energy on you in a way that like you had to support it, is kind of how it's coming through. Or like, I don't know. The point is, I feel like whatever it is that you're moving forward into is sort of like an Ace of Cups energy, right? There's all of this sort of like unconditional love, unconditional support, positivity, peace, balance, where also like your strengths are highlighted and appreciated. Ten of Swords. That's too many cards. I'm not going to take them. Five of Coins. Interesting. And the Lovers card. Okay, so Aquarius, you're moving forward towards something that I feel like is in sort of like presently, this energy, whatever it is in a Ten of Swords, Five of Pentacles energy. Really, really tough ending, and stuckness is how it's coming through. Or like, destitution is the word that I heard. So maybe you are uplifting that situation in whatever way. Like there's perhaps somebody, it could be whatever within your field, right? Whatever your field is. Like these could be like clients or whatever word you want to do. Like if you're a doctor, patients, right? Like that could be that energy, like somebody who's going through illness or difficulty or separation, or you know, whatever descriptor you want to put there. Tough energy. And with the Lovers coming out next, it's kind of like, so perhaps they are past life soulmates in some way. I was kind of, so you might not know them now at the moment. It could be somebody new, but it's like in a past life, maybe there was some sort of like unfinished karma or something like that, or like something that didn't get a chance to blossom is how it's coming through. So it doesn't have to be past life. It could just be the past for whoever this is, or perhaps even for you as well. It might, this situation, this new thing might be sort of a healing situation for you as well as for them, because with the Ace of Cups in this deck, it's not just one bird, right? There's two of them there. So it could be a situation that would be sort of healing for both, or uplifting for both energies, whatever it is. That sort of like corrects or balances some sort of past energy that was wrong, is just how it's coming through. So this doesn't have to be romantic, just keep that in mind. Okay. So you have here the Fool, the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Coins. I feel like there's somebody in the Hanged Man position. It's kind of like there's somebody who is stuck in some sort of energy. I don't know what that is, but perhaps they're getting a new perspective, or perhaps you are. Just like, you know, take it how it resonates. Whenever the Singer of Connection comes out, because you have the Lovers and the Six of Cups, right? And the Singer of Connection is a 6 again. So it is kind of coming through as being like, it's reciprocal, or it's harmonious. It's between both, right? It's an energy that is shared, is kind of how it's coming through. So whatever it is that, if you're experiencing some sort of like healing energy, or something that's like feeling like something's being corrected, that's also happening for the other person in their own way, is how it's coming through. Whatever it is, like, it's kind of feeling like a rebalancing of some sort of wrongdoing. Like something happened that was wrong and unjust, is how it's feeling. And this is coming through as being like a rebalancing energy to correct that. The Devil at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Okay, Two of Wands. Okay, so there's some sort of like future outlook on this energy. I also feel though that because sometimes with the Two of Wands, I see this as being like a bit of a delicate situation, because it looks like trying to catch like a bubble with chopsticks, if you can just imagine that scenario. It's a bit delicate for some reason. It requires delicacy, or careful consideration or planning, is how it's coming through. But I do feel that this is some sort of new beginning. Not a new beginning, it's a correction of a beginning that did not happen, or that did not go through, is kind of how it's coming through. It's the Two of Wands. Nine of Wands. Interesting. So it is something, so that could be the two energies. Like one is in sort of like a very beginning, sort of like delicate kind of energy. The other is sort of like a seasoned warrior, is how that's going through. Interesting. Again, different strengths. Different strengths in this dynamic, is how it's feeling to me. Bottom of the deck, Two of Swords. But this Two of Swords talks about like, and the Tower underneath that, the Magician. This Two of Swords talks about like moving out of a place of stagnation or indecision. So I feel like that's the reading for you, Aquarius. It's feeling very positive. Okay, I'm just gonna get one card to close out this reading. Pisces, sensitize. That's number 12. There's more Hanged Man energy. Okay, so the challenge for this card is that Pisces permeability can leave you lost in a swamp, amorphous, wondering whether your sadness is your own or if it has been sponged up from your surroundings. Empathize with others, but don't try to carry everyone else's pain for them and double the burden. The gift for this card is tune into a healthy ecosystem with Pisces sensitive perception. We are all cells in the body of the one. Healthy individuals contribute to the health of the whole. All right, Aquarius, I'm going to leave the message there. If this resonated for you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.